Hello children, we are going to learn the lesson A Day in the Country. In this lesson, we are going to learn the beauty of nature and about three characters, two children and another person called Terenty, who is a cobbler. Now, this story is happening in the background of Russian village. So you all know that village area, that means the countryside, is rich in its beauty of nature, right? Because there are untouched land, river, lake, mountains. You can see lots and lots of big gigantic trees, greenery, fields. So all these things you have to visualize. So countryside, that means it is bountiful with the richness of nature. Okay. Now you also have to speak about nature in the class when I ask you. So be prepared to talk about the countryside or any natural beauty. It can be about the trees, it can be about rivers, lakes, mountains, or anything. Okay, so be prepared to speak about any one of the phenomena of nature. Now, as I told you, nature is so beautiful. In this particular story, we are getting an opportunity to use all five sensory organs. We are employing all five sensory organs to use in this lesson. So when you see nature, the greenery, we are using eyes. When I hear the rumbling of the thunder, rumbling of the clouds, I am using my ears to hear. Or the buzzing of the bees, I am hearing then. The smell of the rain or an insect bite, I can visualize how painful it is. So we are using all sensory organs in this particular lesson. And the elements of the lesson, that means how the story is progressing, is also clearly seen. So we have already learned what are the elements of a story. We should have main character, subordinate characters. We should have a problem that the characters are encountering with, and we should have a rising action, falling action, resolution, climax. All these things we can easily see. Now the setting of the story. What is the plot? Okay, so in the story, all these elements are clearly visible and we can learn it. We can analyze it later. Now, the setting of the story is in the Russian village. The characters are Fyokla, who is a 6-year-old small girl, and her brother Danilka, and cobbler Terenty. Terenty is the name of the cobbler. So these children are homeless children or parentless children. We usually say orphans. But here these children are taken care by Terenty, the cobbler, who is not related to them, but he knows them and he is the one who is showing some love and affection and taking care of the children, helping the children in times of difficulties. Now, here there is a problem. What is the problem? Danilka has put his hand in the hole of a tree to take the cuckoo's eggs out. But in turn, what happened? He could not take his hand out. It got stuck over there. So Fyokla's sister became panicked. She ran frantically everywhere. In whose search? She was searching for Terenty the cobbler. Finally, she could find Terenty from the kitchen garden. Okay, so she has ran a long distance. After a while, she could see Terenty. So Terenty was telling that, okay, so in the morning itself, so the story is happening in the morning around 9 o'clock, is telling that you are already in problem. So that means that every day the children approach Terenty for one or the other reason for solution. Now here, Terenty is telling, what sort of accident? What thunder? Holy, holy. What sort of accident? Now, in the count's corpse, Danilka stuck his hand in a hole in a tree. So, corpse means it's a thicket of bushes. Now, she wants Charanji to come along with her and save Danilka or help Danilka to take his hand out of the hole. They come out of the village and turn along the dusty road towards the count's corpse that lies dark blue in distance. It is about a mile and a half away. The clouds have by now covered the sun. Soon afterwards, there is not a speck of blue left in the sky, it grows dark. So you can see that there is no blue patch on the sky. Everything is covered with darkness. So the dark clouds have spread everywhere. And it is bringing along the heavy downpour. So they are going to walk in the heavy rain. And the rain has begun and Fiokla and Tarandi were drenched in the rain. They had difficulty to walk through the mud. So the road was kind of muddy road. They were having very difficulty to walk through the muddy road. Then what happened? Tarandi was asking about the whereabouts of Danilka, where he is standing. Then Fiokla is showing Danilka in the thicket of bushes. Now Fiokla leads him into a thicket and after going a quarter of mile points to Danilka. Her brother, a little fellow of 8, with the hair as red as oak and pale sickly face, stands leaning against a tree. So ochre means an earthly pigment varying from light yellow to brown or red. That is the color of the boy. Now, the boy is gazing at the stormy sky and apparently not thinking of his trouble. Hearing of footsteps and seeing the cobbler, he sees a sickly smile and says, "A terrible lot of thunder, Taranji. I have never heard so much thunder in all my life." So he is more worried about the thunder which is happening, or he is excited to know more about the thunder rather than the pain or the difficulty he is into. Okay, now we shall continue the lesson in the next segment.